So I'm gonna have this video be a little bit of a chit chat video where potentially it's for my younger self and letting her know that it's safe to jump, it's safe to take the leap, even though it's scary to go from a predictable 9-to-5 job where you are receiving a paycheck every 2 weeks to literal free fall into the unknown, not having a safety net to catch you, and it's truly up to you whether you succeed or fail. The exciting thing about it is there's no glass ceiling. You can be as successful as you are ambitious. So the harder you work, the more that you can attract into your life. And as a super ambitious person, I always felt a bit trapped in the corporate world. I felt like I wasn't reaching my full potential, like I always had to get my creative ideas approved, and there was just a lot of red tape and blocks to really spread my wings and really work my full magic. And I think that is what is required in order for me to actually create that magic that I know is inside of me. I am such a creative person. I have always been. Since I was a little girl, I have been drawing, painting, sewing, you name it. But I felt pressure, societal pressure to follow that traditional corporate route. You know, I heard a lot about the whole starving artist thing, and I thought, I don't want to be on the street. I was always told that being creative is nice as a hobby, but you can never support yourself financially from that. So I very much believed that and bought into that idea. And I, tried it in the corporate world, and I noticed that I kept hitting a wall and never really felt like I truly fit into any of these organizations. Even though I did enjoy certain parts of it, there was still a strong piece of me that felt like I was meant for more. I was meant to truly spread my creative wings. So I got let go one day, and it wasn't the first time that I had been let go. And normally I would just, brush up my resume, reach out to some LinkedIn connections and try to get that next corporate gig and find that next opportunity that was going to be the next couple of years of my life. And this time was different. I kind of said enough's enough. I had seen the same pattern repeated too many times where I'm like, something needs to change. Clearly this is not working. I need to radically shift. So I decided that there's no more going back. I can't go back. So there is only forward. So I decided to go all in on my creative path. So basically I got to work. So I started by just exploring and doing all the things that I've always done. So I got out my paints, I got out my sewing machine. I had recently inherited this Bernina from my grandmother who had recently passed. And what is an amazing side story is she always knew I was meant to get into that side of the business. She insisted on, when she was passing, that her sewing machine needs to be fixed and it needs to go to Maddie. She was very insistent. This was literally, her dying wish. And I took it as such a sign, and I definitely feel her as I sew and create these masterpieces. I can just tell that she is working through me, and it's just such a beautiful thing. And I feel like I am sewing in her honor every time. So long story short is I finally work up the courage to create a website, post on Etsy, and I start posting some of my, just jackets that I made and different art pieces on Etsy, and I had somebody reach out to me one day asking if I could turn their Oilers jersey into a puffer jacket. So I said, you know what, I'm always up for a creative challenge. I'm not working right now, I have the time. So I took on the project, not knowing anything about this. So I basically just got to work. I downloaded a pattern that I found, a puffer pattern on Etsy, and I started to panic because this puffer pattern did not fit within the confinements of the jersey. And so I quickly realized that I was gonna have to create my own pattern. So not having been to fashion school, I didn't know how to do this, so I went down this whole rabbit hole of learning pattern making, teaching myself the whole pattern making process. Then I started working on a prototype and finally found something I was super happy with, and I was able to create this jacket. So I create the jacket and I send it to the customer. She's super thrilled, and then I end up, I was like, you know what, let me just post this on social media. So I post on TikTok, and oh my God, I was given the absolute thrill of my life when I saw this TikTok video just keep growing, keep getting more and more views. I was shocked. I think it's at almost 100,000 views now, which is mind-blowing. I never could have expected that. So I had a lot of people reach out to me for customs, which I got to work on, and I started working on a lot of customs. And I quickly realized that this was not sustainable for me. These puffer jackets, they take quite a while to make. I would say, you know, around, can be anywhere from 30 to 40 hours just to make one jacket. So it takes a lot of time and materials, and so the cost of everything, both time-wise and with materials, was not sustainable for me. And I wanted to find another way that I could turn this into an actual business. So I created the Jersey to Puffer pattern, because I figured if I was having this creative problem of not finding a pattern that works for this jersey jacket, which turns out was a very popular item, so I figured other people would probably want to benefit from this pattern as well, and not only the pattern but the process. So I created a tutorial showing you exactly how to make these jersey puffer jackets, and so I go step by step in my tutorials and really show you how to use both the pattern and what materials you need and all the steps required to get it done. So I posted that on YouTube and did pretty well. I got almost 10K views on that one so far, so it is definitely my best performing YouTube video so far. So I'm still pretty new to the YouTube world, so I definitely am still sort of getting my bearings here, but it's been really fun so far, and I am absolutely loving it. So from that first success of when I published that sewing pattern, the first Jersey to Puffer sewing pattern, I started getting a ton of different orders coming in on Etsy, on my website. I think at one point I had this goal of selling 10 sewing patterns in one day, and I achieved that, and I was so excited. My husband took me out to dinner to celebrate, and it was an amazing, amazing feeling. And so from there, I've basically spent the past year working super hard to release the collection of Jersey to Puffer patterns. So now we have 2 vests, so women's and men's vests. We have the adult kids jacket and the long puffer and a bucket hat as well. But yeah, it was a very exciting process. I also wanted to make sure that all of my patterns were top quality, because I didn't go to fashion school, I needed it to be reviewed, my patterns to be QA'd by somebody who did. So I send all of my patterns to an amazing pattern designer, and she will clean up my lines and scale the pattern for me so that I can offer the pattern in different sizes. So they're currently available in sizes extra small all the way to double XL. And that's how I think I've been able to achieve 5 stars so far on Etsy. I think only 1 or 2 reviews were 4 stars, but the rest were all 5 stars. And everybody is loving the pattern so far, which is honestly just lighting up my entire soul. So thank you so much for trying the patterns, reviewing them. It has honestly meant the absolute world to me, I can't tell you. So I've been on this journey so far, and I'm not looking back. I'm truly never going back to that corporate life. It is not for me anymore. And I'm so thrilled that I went through that experience and I was able to learn from how they do it sort of in larger companies, and I truly learned so much about marketing. So that's probably why I've been able to actually, get the word out and have people actually know about my pattern, which is a blessing, honestly. So I'm still not where I would like to be, financially. I just did my taxes, but I just have this unwavering faith in myself and this grit to just keep going, and I know that my hard work will eventually pay off. So I'm just sticking with it, and I'm just so grateful. Honestly, I'm just so grateful that I had the courage to believe in myself, to take that leap, and to just trust the universe, trust myself, and trust that it's all going to work out. And I truly believe that. There's been enough sort of signs that things are going in the right direction, and I think really the main difference between people that have successful businesses and the ones who don't are the ones that stick with it, are the ones who refuse to give up, because sometimes success is literally right around that bend. Success doesn't happen overnight. Most entrepreneurs created multiple businesses before they found the one that really worked for them. While I was working in my corporate career, I've tried to, launch different versions of a business, leaning on my spirituality side, trying to get that going, but that sort of never worked out. So I'm happy that I finally found something that is going to stick and something I am so passionate about and could literally just be so excited to wake up every day and to do that. I still can't believe that I get to wake up every single day and turn things that were nothing into something. And it's truly the best feeling in the world. I guess what I'm trying to say is, listen to your inner voice, and the universe truly will always have your back if you work hard and are honest with yourself about who you truly are and what you're meant to do in this lifetime. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm working on a dress pattern now. I'm currently wanting to release other patterns other than just the sort of sports genre. So I'm going to be getting into wedding, summer, fall. I want to have a whole collection of different types of sewing patterns. So sports will just be one category, and there's just so much to look forward to, so much coming down the line. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel to follow my journey. I know this is just the beginning, and I'm so excited to see what's next, and I'll try to take you along the ride with me. So yeah, that's my story. Also, one last note is I created a community on an app called Sew Club for those who have any questions about my pattern. So I have the link below to join that if you're interested. So thank you so much for getting this far in the video, if I haven't bored you too much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.